Hello, number one. So, welcome to Metatron's Academy. So, today we're going to address one of the most dreaded, terrifying, evil, monstrous pronunciation features of the Italian language. Gli. Bro, not even Dante Alighieri would be okay with that one after all of the La Divina Commedia Inferno. Okay, so, gli. I've got people asking me, oh, wait, I need to show this. Come on, Metatron, just put it together. You need to start the video with the... I need to find it. 1 second. I need to find the message of the subscriber that actually asked me to do this, to cover it, and maybe prepare it before you make the video. Metatron. Hold on a minute. Gosh, you guys have no patience. Nothing. Found it. I'm going to show it. Goodness gracious, it took me 3/4 of an hour. Pablo Kiros 3120 asks: grazie, ti andrebbe di fare un video su come si pronuncia gli? Molti di noi madrelingua spagnoli facciamo davvero fatica. So let me translate it. It says, thank you. Would you mind making a video on how to pronounce gli? Many of us native speakers of Spanish really struggle a lot, basically, is what he's saying. So here we are. Okay, so believe it or not, I mean, this is going to be kind of a short and sweet video, I suppose, but the one thing I want you to know is that the one pronunciation that you heard me do now, we're going to deconstruct it. I won't go too technical with it, though. I'll give a little bit for those who are interested. But in general, I just want to give you some samples to work with and also some good news, meaning that if you're studying Italian, well, when it comes to native speakers of Italian, there are 3 ways to pronounce this. There are 3 ways within the entirety of the peninsula, including the islands, where the people kind of subscribe to. It's either one of these, and depending on where you're from, they are all technically native. Now, one of these is, in theory, the most correct in the sense that it would be the standard version, the one I actually did, gli. And that's the standard on how to pronounce it. And so if you want a career as an Italian voice actor, then yes, you need to stick to that one. Or maybe you want to do theater in Italian. That's the one you need to do. That's the one you want. But otherwise, if you just want to speak Italian, or perhaps you even like a different regional accent rather than the standard form of the language, then in fact, the others are fine because there are native speakers who use them. So let's just jump right into it. Of course, when we talk about gli, it's one of the articles, right? Because Italian has il, lo, la, I, gli, le. Il, lo, la, I, gli, le. All right? And these, of course, change depending on singular, masculine, feminine, plural, etc., and all those other connections. Now, in standard Italian, the sound gli is what is called a voiced palatal lateral approximant, which means nothing to 90% of the people watching this video. Well, let's cut it very quickly. So first and foremost, it's voiced. So you're supposed to pronounce it by using your vocal cord. Okay, that's a voiced sound using vocal cords. The rest, palatal lateral approximant, it's basically telling you where in the mouth the sound is produced. And the reality is that the very first thing that you have to remember, never pronounce it as independent G and L, because when you put them together, they create a new sound, a new unit. So never gli, okay? It's not figli, it's figli, all right? Now, it's a little annoying because there is a movement of the tongue. Gli, figli, famiglia, gli. And generally speaking, it's also, and in standard and southern varieties, there is also a little bit of a lengthening in the sense that inside a word, so in isolation, gli, but if it's inside a word, it oftentimes sounds a little bit geminated. So figli, figlio, it's a little stronger or longer, if you will, phonemically. Now, when we say famiglia, lia, okay? If this is difficult, because it is difficult even for some native speakers, what are the other possible pronunciations? Also from a perspective of like interest, right? It's a curiosity. So people in the south tend to reduce it or simplify the sound and basically pronounce it like a Y. So famiglia, figlio, y, rather than gli. Can you tell the difference? Y, y, famiglia. L, famiglia. Right? So the second one, famiglia, is the standard. Generally speaking, natively used in central and a little bit of central northern Italian. So people in Lazio usually say it like this. Tuscany is the place where this is native. And there are a few other areas around there where it's normally the native automatic sound. Now, there are people in the north that pronounce it like this, but in fact, there is a northern simplified variety depending on which region you belong to. And as I was saying, the southern simplified variety is just a freaking Y. That's how it is. Famiglia rather than familia. Okay? Yeah, the southern. In some northern areas, they simplify it into an L. So they just, you know how we just said that G and L functions as a singular unit in order to represent a new sound? Well, some northern people are like, I'm not interested, and they go for familia. So fa, mi, li, a, literally just an L. Now, not all northern accents do it, and even in those regions where this becomes a predominant feature, still it depends, right? You can have a person from there who doesn't do this and in fact goes for the standard. What you won't find in the north is the simplification into a Y, because that's very southern. Now, when I say southern, I include the island, of course, of Sicily. How do they do it in Sardinia? You know, if you are from Sardinia, let me know, because right now I can't remember if you guys simplify it like us in the south or if you stick to standard. I don't believe you do the northern thing with an L. My dad sometimes does it, and then I always call him out. But then again, I mean, he has every right to call me out if you think about it, because again, for the majority of my life, I have simplified it as a freaking Y. Now, ever since I started studying diction, also when I was interested into teaching Italian, which I did for some time, I did find pleasure and interest, and it's just fancy, right? To learn to pronounce it correctly. Also because at one point, I want to be honest with you, I actually did consider the possibility of becoming a voice actor. I never actually materialized, it didn't happen, but still, it was interesting. Anyways, it's fun to be able to do all of these. So let's practice a little bit. Repeat after me. Gli. Gli. Figlio. Figlio. That means son. Famiglia. Famiglia. Family. Moglie. Moglie. Wife. Aglio. Aglio. Garlic. How did you like that? So that's the sound. That is the sound. So which one do you find more interesting as a sound among these? Which one is the one you like the most? Do you like the standard variety? Or do you prefer the northern one? Do you prefer the southern one? Are you interested in the idea of perhaps trying a little bit of a simplified version? Or are you going to go for the more complex, even sometimes for native Italian sound? Yeah. But definitely let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions like this, I don't mind making like a little bit of a more of a shorter video format, even if it's like barely 8 minutes. It's not a big deal. It's just the occasional little mini tutorial for questions. So do write your comments down below and let me know if there are other sounds in Italian you struggle with, or if there are sounds in Mandarin, in French, in English, in Japanese. So these are languages that I can usually tackle, because even Spanish up to a certain extent, these are languages that I can tackle because I have studied some more, some less, but I think I should be able to approach them. And if not, I can always, ask help from other members of the language space and language community. But I do want to finish this video just saying thank you so much for your interest in the Italian language. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you can use this as a little tutorial. So one more time for shits and giggles. Gli. Gli. Figlia. Let's do daughter, so we are inclusive away as well. Figlia. Figlia. Ciao. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.